Welcome as well from my side to our customer conference, Tilium Digital Velocity. Today, focus on retail. Thriving in a post-pandemic retail world, how to master the combination of offline and online data. Bit of context, we've seen many retailers over the last years to, hope it's okay to say it, rediscover the internet as always on and pandemic independent sales and loyalty channel, and to grow and for some to simply survive. We've seen some retailers coming from 80% sales from offline, growing towards 50 to 6% online, as well making consumers even more used to browse and buy online. And this will stay. And the key challenge retailers told us is how you can leverage what you build in your physical stores on personal experiences and as well existing customer information, how to leverage them in digital. And today I'm especially pleased being able to welcome Andreas from Thomas Sabo, a very successful retailer who already mastered that transformation. And he will share some insights in how they achieve to collect data at the retail store and creating single view of their customers and consumers and leverage this information across all their channels, including digital. So Andreas he's a senior web analyst who manages the Tilium platform on a daily basis. Before he ran even campaigns himself, so he can share really some detailed insights, real life insights on their CDP and data journey. And afterwards, we'll follow with a fireside chat. So Andreas, without further ado, it's your stage.
Thanks a lot. I'm really happy to be here, share my informations, and hopefully some of you can implement our steps we use in Thomas Sabo. And now I would just start with my presentation. Give me a second. I believe you should already see it, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So what's the main topic? Thriving in a post-pandemic retail world and how to master the combination of offline and online data. My person is, I'm the web analyst at Thomas Sabo. We are a big manufacturer of products like jewelry and necklaces, rings, and so on. So Thomas Sabo was founded in 1984 in Lauf in Germany by Thomas Sabo, the person himself. And we have more than 190 retail stores all over the world, from Europe to Asia, Africa, USA, and South America, as well then more than 4,500 products available to purchase in our website in our online shop. But as I already told you, our main focus was in the past the retail stores, but the pandemic and many years ago, we already decided to go the step to the online shopping market in the e-commerce area, because it's the way to go in the future, as you already know. Just one quote from our founder, Thomas Sabo himself. The emotive value of an item of jewelry is measured in terms of their memories and captures. So we see ourselves in a situation where we don't just want to sell products, we want to sell memories, and that's the reason why we have an own identity and want to solve the problems and have a unique experience wearing and buying products from us. Yes, what's going on? So in the agenda, we have 7 steps. So the main and really important question, first of all, is how to track offline data in a digital world. Followed by another question, how do we connect offline and online data? Then our third bullet point is the risks and data privacy. What is really important to be on the safe side, as well as the data journey 0 to 1. Here we will discuss what we do in Thomas Sabo and what's the combination about them, and how we set up a journey where we can really connect in a use case our offline and online data. followed by the main benefits and key takeaways. And as Frank already told you, last but not least, there's a question and answer time. So I hope I can answer all the questions and help you follow down the road. So let's start with the first question: how to track offline data in a digital world. So the most of you know how to track online data. I think I don't have to talk about that, but the offline data, it's a really important world as well, but it's not that easy to track them in a digital world. So in my opinion, there are 4 different types to track the data and the information. First of all, the classic purchase data. So similar to online purchases, the main KPIs will be tracked in our retail stores, like how many purchases do we got in a day or in a month, in a year, as well as the revenue, AOV and AAV as well. I think that's really clear to understand. The next one, it's a point which is really important, and I will discuss it later in my talk as well. But in a nutshell, a loyalty card information is something where a customer gets the opportunity to be a Prime member. Some companies have already a loyalty program, but not all of them. So in our case, we use discounts and early access to our new collections to give our customers the opportunity to go in there and shop new products as well. And in exchange, we create them an own account and an individual customer ID, and we send them a physical card as well, where they get all the information how to use the discounts in our online shop, but also in our retail stores where we collect the data. The next step is the survey data. So using a mobile device to automatically track the data in an online way. We use mobile devices such as iPads and other functional mobile devices to track the data. It's really important because in the past, or in the first steps of our company, we use the classic way, just have paper sheets and so on, many decades ago. But as you can guess, there have been so much workload, and it was really chaotic. So as soon as there was the opportunity there, we used mobile devices, which had the benefit that we track all the data automatically in a digital world. And last but not least, the research data is using global research information to get a better understanding of their own data. So the information does not come from us, like other companies or universities which want to share the information. You have to use them for sure too, so you're on the safe side in the future. The next question is, how do we connect offline and online data? As I already told you, in our case, we have a loyalty card program, which is called the Privilege Club membership, where customers get the opportunity to set a Prime membership account. What does it mean, and why is it so important for us? First of all, it's very important because we want to connect the offline data with the online data. And we have to find common ground, because if we just check the offline data and send it to our customer data platform, in this case Telium, we have the data, but we can't match the data with the online data, because we have to create one single view of a customer, and we do that in this case by creating this individual and specific customer ID when a customer of us joins our Prime membership, our Privilege Club membership, and then we can create them an individual customer ID, which allows us again to set all the data together. So for example, if a user goes into our retail stores and before he purchased something, he gave the permission to us to contact them and to create a Prime membership account. After that, he can use our benefits we gave them, like discounts, early access to new collection launches, etc. So he or she can get some benefits from that. And when he does or she does, the data is automatically sent to Telium. And maybe after some weeks, he will or she will try our online shop. And if the user logs into the account and in our online shop and already purchased something in our retail stores, the customer ID will assign again. And now we have a single view of one of the specific user. And that's really, really helpful because we now know how the behavior of our users are, and we better understand what their what's the user experience, what's the journey behind that. If a user prefers to shop in a retail store or in an online and e-commerce way. So I hope I could explain it in a great way. Let's jump to the next very important topic, the risk and data privacy. What do we have to pay attention to? Nowadays, it's really important to have a really correct setup. In this case, we use Telium really, really helpfully because all the data is stored in one place and we know what to do with that. So it's very important to store and synchronize your data when collecting it from a retail source and your website or online shop. Otherwise, the user could be added to a wrong audience. And if this happens, and you send, for example, the newsletter to people which aren't signed into the newsletter or email marketing accounts, it's really, really problematic because they didn't give the permission. And yeah, as you can guess, the risk are very, very high that they will complain about that. But there are another steps which are really, really important to set up correctly, like the data privacy, because it has to match not just the retail source, but also match yours on their website. Otherwise, your company is legally vulnerable. I think that's really, really easy to understand. Next is the data security. So protecting the digital information from unauthorized access, corruption, or theft throughout its entire life cycle is really important as well. And I think it embraces the hardware and physical data in stores as well as the digital and cloud-based information. So it's really important that's you're on a safe side and nobody can steal the information and the data you got from your users. Last but not least, the fourth point is that customer has to give the permission for marketing purposes. And as well as the data privacy, it has to match the permission which the customer gives in the retail store as well as in our online shop, because otherwise you're again legally vulnerable. That's not the best case, and to be able to send the loyalty card as well as the emails to our customers, it's important that customers agree to the terms and conditions. Additionally, the customer has to give you the permission to contact them.
Andreas, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, okay? For sure.
So you're taking data privacy very seriously, which is very good and as it should be. And it seems to me they have a very smart approach how you tackle this and how you solve this. because I know many retailers still have this challenge ahead. So could you elaborate a bit more on the role of your Telium customer data platform in this privacy area, maybe as well around consent and permissions, and how this helps you in?
Yeah, for sure. It's really helpful because all consents and permissions are attached to our central profiles in the customer data platform Telium, and B, honored before activation per channel. So what does it mean? This is a very convenient way for us to help improve our governance and comply with legislations. As well, we use the customer data platform, in this case Telium, as well for subjects like access requests as that one central point. So we don't have to use many tools which have all of them different data privacies and so on, and many more other systems. So we all stored in one central point, in this case Telium. And that's the main benefit, in my opinion, to have a customer data platform which connects all these different systems in the digital world.
Very nice compliment. I think there are not many in the audience who achieve the same level of governance and how you manage it as you have done. So congrats. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go to the next point, the data journey, and going from 0 to 1, a step-by-step plan. How did we achieve not just to track the offline data, but also to match them with our online data as well? So it describes the step-by-step plan by a customer which subscribes to our Privilege Club membership, our loyalty card program. So first of all, the customer has or wants to create a customer ID, in which case we will create one of them when he agrees to our terms and conditions for the loyalty program. And additionally, as I already told you, he will get benefits like discounts and so on. This subscription can go on and start in a retail store, but also as well in our online shop when he's going through the purchase process. The next step is actually using the card and the membership we created for them. And here is the point where Telium collects all the data. So by using the card in a retail store, or when the customer really logs into their account on our website, Telium tracks all the data, gets them, and combine them. So that's the key takeaway for you. The Telium is the connection where all the magic happens. So we will match the data from the offline and from the online data to a single customer view, and then we can track our customer all through his purchase history, as well as what's his future plans. For example, buying more or less often in our offline or in our online shop. The next step is the data analysis. So the user behavior, comparison of offline and online data, as well as the differences and similarities regarding user behavior. And that's really important, and too, because we want to get a better look how our customer looks like, and what does he prefer to buy, where does he prefer to buy. So for example, if a customer buys 3 out of 4 times in our retail store, we have to focus on that. For example, we will send them email marketing newsletter, and we create social media strategies like creating ads which shows the nearest store available for him. So because we know the conversion will be higher if he goes to a retail store rather than shopping in our online shop. Then set up the goals. What do we want? So not just the monetization part is really important, like growing our revenue, saving costs, but also the personalization and optimized user experience are really, really important too, because after we get these single customer views from all the users, we can track the possibility to create a unique customer experience gets more realistic, and we see that in click-through rates as well as in the conversions in our most important KPIs. But first of all, it's really important to know what to do. Like if you want to use it for retargeting campaigns, for example, as you see here in the last step, or just to optimize the user experience. We're using, in this case, in this last point, many different marketing channels. The most important one are here like SEA, social media, and newsletter, because we get a lot of traffic from these channels. As well as we use the retargeting program, so we get users more often coming into our shops and have a better customer experience for them as well. As well as creating a better conversion rate in our online shop as well as in our retail stores.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you flip a slide back, Andreas? I would have a question, because you mentioned that you use the customer delivery platform across these different channels. And I wonder if you could share something around your organizational setup around and behind the CDP, because that's often a question we get from organizations who are thinking about investing and deploying a CDP. How should they set up it? How many people do typically work with this component? How many people consume this? So if there is anything you could share on that, then might be interesting for the audience as well.
Yes, in our case, Thomas Sabo, actually there are 7 people which have access to Telium, to our CDP, but every one of them has a different job. So for example, 3 people of them are in our web development team, which is really, really important. For example, when we were creating our cookie consent, so we are on the safe side, like programming how it looks like, what text do we have to add, etc. But also there are some other people like me, which are really important for us to create audiences and to connect them to our marketing channels like Facebook, Giteo, etc. So to sum up, we are right now 7 people working on that.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thanks. So I would go on with the next question. How do we use the combination of data at Thomas Sabo? There are 4 big points which are really, really useful, and that's really nice to have in the marketing campaigns and so on, because in the first point, it's really, really nice having and finding new customers when you have unique segments and audiences which are created from Telium. For example, when you combine the online and offline data and matching these profiles, so we have one single customer view, you have the opportunity to create lookalike audiences from them. In this case, for example, Facebook creates a lookalike audience with people which are similar to the audience you created in Telium. And with that, it's really, really nice because you can have a way better KPIs than using just normally a normal audience by Facebook. That's really, really helpful. But also really important is are the retargeting campaigns, because now when you have all the information gained from your customers and you know how they behave, it's really good for you to set up, and really easy for you to set up campaigns in a retargeting way. For example, on-site marketing strategies by Turbo and so on, but also in social media context as well. Another important point is the personalized user experience. So as you know, the one size fits all marketing campaigns are a thing of the past, and modern customers want tailored experiences. And the data integration supports messaging and experiences as customers interact with the brand. And after you got all the data, you can get a better user experience for them. And followed by this, you will see a better click-through rate as well as a better conversion rate in your online shop, as well in your retail stores. The last point is the campaign optimization. When you integrate the offline and online data, which can support the creation of accurate audience profiles, that will enable marketers to optimize campaigns across the different platforms, like, as I already told you, display, social media, video ads, and so on, which is really, really helpful. And again, you will see your KPIs will increase by a lot. So what are the main benefits and key takeaways when you connect your offline and online data? For sure, you will see a revenue growth. They are driven by the personalized marketing campaigns, because when you create your new campaigns, you will target a more specific group of user, and because you have the more data, the performance of that campaigns will increase by far, as well as you will save a lot of costs, because of the same reason, actually, because the information you got from the retail and online stores and website will allow you to create and set up new audiences and segments. The third point is optimized user experience and brand image. By knowing how the customer prefers to shop and for what. So what does it mean? As I already told you, if a user prefers to shop in retail stores, most of the time, it's important for us to get the data first of all, and then to set up campaigns which let us convert them in a better way. So for example, we know the user will be on social media for sure too, but instead of setting up campaigns which shows our current collection, we will set up campaigns which shows the nearest retail store for the user, and then we can see that the people are really going into the retail store and shop there instead of the online shop. Otherwise, maybe we have no sale at all.
Question from my side, Andreas. You mentioned this just, you will see your KPIs will increase by a lot.
Yeah.
A bold statement, I have to say. Could you be a bit more explicit or precise? Any KPIs you could share with your audience what you achieved?
Yes, for sure. In this case, we saw that 70% a higher conversion rate when we use audiences which are created by Telium with all the data we got. It increased by a lot in comparison to normal audience which are created by our tools and marketing channels we use. So the higher conversion rate will increase for sure, and in our case, it was by 70%. We saw that again, we saw a higher conversion rate by 6 to 7 times regarding our cart abandons and campaigns as well. So that's really, really nice to see too. But that's not all, because I think the optimized user experience and the brand image we gained up from all the data will also get our customer lifetime value a lot higher than in the past, and we hope that people really experience a more and better way in our online shop as well in our retail world. So the last benefits and key takeaways we have from the connection of the offline and online data are the first-party cookies, because as you know, beginning in next year in October, and the third-party cookies won't be there anymore, and it's a reason for that is that the first-party cookies are getting way more important. And we saw this actually in the pandemic in the last 2 years for sure, because we already set up all these tracking possibilities in our retail stores, as I already told you, the Privilege Club membership. And because we did that, we had the opportunity to connect with our customers. Meanwhile, the pandemic was rising, all the retail stores has been closed. So that was really a really good benefit for us. We used, in this case, our newsletter to connect with them again. Actually, thank you for listening to me. Followed by the question and answers you have. So
yeah,
thank
you very much, Andreas. 70% higher conversion rate with orders of Tilium. Impressive ROI achieved. It's just something you can be really proud of. So, Andreas, thank you very much for all the insights you shared. And I learned quite a lot. I remember this data journey from 0 to 1, so your step-by-step plan. That was impressive. And that, like I saw this one summary slide we had, it's used in 4 areas: lead gen, retargeting campaigns, as well for anonymous users, personalized user experience, and campaign optimization. So I think it shows the breadth and the depth of your adoption level. And that's just amazing. You can be proud of what you achieved and your team there.
Yeah, thanks.
In your presentation, you covered several ways how you use Thomas Sabo actually collecting data at your retail stores and leveraging this online. I just wonder, why do you think many retailers have actually trouble in collecting this type of store data?
First of all, I believe that many retailers don't find common ground. In this case, or at Thomas Sabo, we shared the opportunity to find common ground using the loyalty card program. So we create a customer ID for them, and then we have the possibility to match the data from the online and offline data and have a single customer view. But also, I think they don't have, or they have to find an easy way to collect the data. So at Thomas Sabo, we have already a setup in all our retail stores, for example, iPad or other functional devices, which allows us to give the opportunity to sign up to our membership. And then after that, the data is already collected in an online way and will be sent to Tilium. And if you don't have that, first of all, the problem is that you have no real-time access to the data. And another benefit if you have to when you set up this functionality with the mobile devices in your retail stores. You will save a lot of costs as well as a lot of time, because you don't have to manual upload all the data you achieved in a day or in a month. So I think these are the main problems for retailers.
I mean, with your loyalty card, you have a great advantage in that area to actually be able to have an identifier. You could as well use email as a non-loyalty card based identifier to stitch it with the online journeys there.
Yes, for sure.
On the other side, collecting data, that's one point. You managed to fix it, tick the box, but having access to it and being able to leverage across all your channels, you listed them as well in your presentation. That's a completely different beast. So what challenges did you encounter on that end of this data journey?
Yeah, there are a lot of different channels we use, but a really important one again is to have real-time access to all of that tools, because otherwise all the data isn't updated and you can't really use it, because it changes a lot. Channels we use are in a marketing way, the Facebook Business Manager, as well as Criteo, Google Ads, and so on. But to give you a tip, is really important that you have to ask you the questions, which channels do you really use when you set up this whole area with a CDP, because you have to set up a goal. Otherwise, you have to figure out, okay, what can we add? What do we have to do? This costs a lot of time again. And when you connect all the channels once in an easy way, it's easier to get the data going through in a real time.
Yeah, you need an objective, a goal, as you mentioned. I like this one because objectives drive behavior, and it's a bit of change in the organization there. Different thing regarding change in organization. How does actually your senior and executive management see and perceive this thing called customer data platform or Telim audience stream? And how do you communicate with them internally about this?
Yes. So actually, in the beginning, it was kind of difficult, because our company was focused on the retail market from the beginning on, and the e-commerce and online shopping area was later on, many decades later. But I think after they understand how important it is to collect the data, and you really could use them for marketing campaigns and to optimize the better customer experience, they saw that the KPIs, as we already talked about, increased, and after that they understand, okay, what's really going on with all the data we collected and how we can use that. And I think not just the KPIs and the revenue which grew through that CDP was important for them, but also their own customer experience when they, for example, set up a test order in our online shop. They feel like they have a better customer journey, a better user experience themselves, and I think that's the main goal, how we connect in this kind of connection to our management.
From a German business side, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, keep it simple as well. Yeah. Maybe a provocative question. I imagine somebody would switch off your data platform, your customer data platform, today or tomorrow. What would be the impact for you, besides maybe losing your job? But what would be the impact for you and Thomas Sabo then?
It would have a really big impact, because no data would arrive in our report tools like Google Analytics and so on. We would be kind of blind, as well as our marketing campaigns and all the audience we created from Telium in this case wouldn't be updated, and all the campaigns would be not working really well because the users aren't in a real-time updated audience. The campaigns would be kind of blind, to be honest. So it's really important to have the one CDP. In this case.
I think we could go on forever with a couple of further questions. Just what's next for you? Is there any next step you have with your custom data platform, Thomas Sabo? Anything you have on your list? Anything interesting?
For sure. We want to transform and convert all our retail customers to online shoppers, not just because it's a more automatically revenue way to get that done, but also because we want to be prepared if something like COVID-19 comes again and all the retail stores will be closed again. We saw that that's really important to have just more way where revenue is coming in, and if you have to set that again up, it's really difficult. So we want to prepare ourselves for that.
Okay, right. Yeah, thank you very much, Andreas, for the very interesting insights you shared from your data journey 0 to 1 at Thomas Sabo. In closing, I think some key ways which you might find beneficial after you will be back in the office. Well, and one of the first things you should do is actually assess what relevant data, especially offline sources, exist today, which could help you and optimize your online experiences, improving return on ad spend, increasing sales, improving loyalty. That's one first step. And understood this matching data. You have the customer ID, privileged club membership ID. It sounds simple, but I think it's the first step in this journey. But then as well, as you said, get clear about your goals, what you want to achieve, draft your use cases, draft your data journey, your own data journey 0 to 1, and build your business case. That's why that's something where we could help you. So there is a website, telium.com/value. That's a starting point, how we could help you actually to quantify potential benefits of an investment in Telium. Then, of course, definitely engage your data privacy team, and as well to build your differentiator based on this data privacy and trust journey you have. And then, of course, deploy the 360 view of your customers, use this data in real time, and simply win. So with this, thank you again, Andreas, for your time. And I think you shared tons of valuable insights, and I believe you're far ahead of the one or the other retailer, at least I'm aware of. So with this as well, I want to thank you, the audience, for your time, and to add, while there are more sessions live on the Digital Velocity landing page with tons of very valuable further customer insights, which might help you as well for your business. And thank you very much, and goodbye as well from all three of us.
Bye.